All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Golden Kamuy, Season 4, Episode 13. All right.
The last episode that we
We'll
have.
say goodbye to you. You beautiful,
We won't forget you.
sexy bastards.
Yep, that's right.
All right.
Beautiful, horny, sexy bastards.
Yep. But now we gotta go kill or catch a predator.
Catch a peddler. Yeah.
Yes, a
Right.
peddler. A peddler. Yes,
Oh, God.
exactly. Let's go get him.
Right, because, this is Golden Kamuy, and there's always somebody out there that's just causing mischief and mayhem with, tattoos and such.
Yeah. So everybody's going to converge on Sapporo. This is going to be a very fun finale here. But the actual type of finale that we're getting, other than just seeing potentially everybody in the one episode,
Right.
it might be more of just a gigantic cliffhanger for the 5th season. So
On the surface, it feels very mundane. And yet, Golden Kamuy don't do things
they
mundane.
don't do that here.
So,
No.
Yeah.
So very excited about this. Very disappointed that we'll have to wait for the final season, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But we do know that it's coming.
right.
That is a very good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, just like Usami. Last episode. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Cool.
Goes into everything.
Oh. Didn't get the okay.
God damn it. Fucking hell. Uh-huh. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I've heard of people spilling secrets in bed,
Yeah.
but
Whoa. This Ogata characterization.
yeah.
It's a little devil on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Huh. Well, yeah, I need to kill him.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah.
God, the horse sound.
Yeah, yeah. Don't care.
Don't give a shit.
Whoa. Yeah. Uh-huh. Fuck. Right, of course.
Yeah, uh-huh. Is he gonna die this episode?
Damn! Damn!
All right.
聞いたか僕が一番安い駒だって。
いえ、聞こえませんでしたが。
そんなわけないよな。
It is though. He is. Yep. Meanwhile.
やっと左打ちに慣れてきた。
Yep.
では狙撃兵は完全復活したわけか。
いいや。狙撃兵は
Then I'm just a hunter.
Right. Yeah.
A sniper. No,
Sniper
no.
kills the two-legged kind.
Yeah, yeah.
やっぱり白石があいつらとつるんでるのがわからねえな。
It's a funny thing, yeah.
歳三みたいな危ない連中と渡り合おうなんて。分が悪けりゃ早々に。
Right. I've split multiple times. Yep. Eh.
Listen, kid.
あのお嬢さん、のっぺらぼうと同じ深い青いをしているよな。アシリカちゃんは暗号を解く方法をもう知ってる気がするんだよな。お前、もしかして教えてもらった？
いや、
Uh-huh.
But that's kind of the confirmation that she does know.
金か？支笏湖で砂金と一緒に沈んでいたものさ。その刻印、俺たちの入れ墨に似てないか？
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
Whoa. We are closer than we
Yeah.
could think, yeah.
シアラサルシカムイのこの中。
Oh my god, that
今の姿をした星。
was a hardcore word there.
チンポの星は多分ない。
Imagine if the way to decode it is the dick constellation that she came up with.
アチャの名前、フォロケ大志子に。これが暗号を解く鍵で間違いはない。母がつけたアイヌの名前をわざわざ暗号に入れた。本当に金塊は見つかった方がいいんだろうか。杉本に暗号解読の鍵を教えなければ、杉本は私から離れない。金塊は見つからないで。
Wow.
このままずっと一緒
Oh
に。
shit.
埋蔵金が見つかったら杉本は私の元から。
あれなんだ。
Ignored it. Oh.
Yeah.
今すぐここから離れて。
Oh shit.
急げ杉本。
Oh shit. It's a logging deal. One knocks down the others and then knocks down all the others.
Oh fuck. That is terrifying.
Oh shit, he got hit.
杉本、大丈夫か。
しっかり気を確かに頑張って。
What? Yes!
Oh my god.
Amazing!
ところで、鶴見中尉殿が札幌で待つようにとの。
Oh. He's having you two specifically?
向かって。
Wait. Holy shit, she's here. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
抑えなくては。
Yeah.
故郷に戻って好きだった人と暮らすのか。
Yeah, you didn't answer the question.
梅ちゃんっていう人がいるんだ。
Oh, this is so much more somber of a
結婚したんだ。
an
Yeah.
episode than I thought. So maybe Sapporo is season, 5. That's
Maybe.
トラジも梅ちゃん
where it all goes down,
あいつなら大事にしてくれるとは。
Oh,
Oh.
so it's not just. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
でもトラジが
Wow. Now we see exactly like how it
そんなに必死に探すってことは、やっぱりあのお嬢ちゃんが称賛ってことなのか。のっぺらぼうの娘なんだろ。どうなんだよ白石。
Yeah, fuck you. I care about them.
Yeah.
約束を守るために故郷へ戻ってトラジの嫁さんに金を渡さなきゃいけない。
金塊を欲しい理由が杉本らしくてよかった。
You haven't been changed by the gold.
足リパさんがこの事件に納得できるまで
Oh.
俺は相棒のままでいるから。
本当に聞きたかった答え。
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
So if he had answered differently, she might have told him there.
Uh-huh.
杉本とは違う意味でよほど金塊が欲しいんだろう。地獄の金の亡者だから。
確かにそうだけど。
He did.
That he did.
Yep, the whole time.
だから俺と同じように教えてもいいんじゃないかな。足リパさんが暗号を解く鍵を思い出したってことまでは。
アンカムイが助けに来た。
Yeah, Kamuy!
Hey.
He sees everything.
手を貸せ。俺の連れがお前らが倒した木の下敷きになった。
Yeah, all those
Damn.
trees.
ここにいたカムイはどこに行ってしまったんだろうな。
裕福に暮らそうとするのは誰にも責められないと思う。取りすぎなければいいだけなんだ。
Uh-huh.
狩りで取った獲物の肉は全部持って帰らずに全部取らずに残しておけば私たちのカムイは消えない。アチャがそう言ってたのを思い出した。
支笏湖に沈んでいたんだ。アシリパちゃんが持ってな。
Okay.
文様、俺たちの入れ墨と似ているから。
交互にとか交差とかを意味する。支笏湖に沈むまで手放さずにこれを持っていたということは一つになって守ろうという思いは変わっていなかったんだ。アチャはアイヌたちを殺してない。
Mm-hmm. Okay.
そして私はアイヌのためにやるべきことが
All
よ
right.
く分かってきた。
Whoa! I respect the decision
Yeah.
to have this be so focused on our main cast. And then kind of sneak in that really fun Usami and Ogata
Right.
characterization.
It's like, okay, tell us Ogata is going to be key for the final season without telling us Ogata is going to be key for the final season.
Yeah.
Well, this was an interesting choice for a
Very-
season finale.
Very satisfying and,
Yep.
and calm and relaxing.
Right. Wholly unlike what I have come to expect from Golden Kamuy finales.
Same.
And that's I like it because we're going into the final season, right? So
Right.
okay, yeah, you have to have everything squared away, and maybe especially because the final season is going to be so crazy that there won't be time to like, reminisce on the why we're here or anything like that,
Right.
right? So have all the ducks in a row so that everything can go to shit and we'll be able to track everything, right?
Yeah, so Sugimoto was in love with the woman that ended up getting married to his friend. Yeah.
Right.
To his good friend.
Yep.
They were going to end up getting married, but they didn't because his whole family got tuberculosis.
Right.
She ended up getting married to his friend, and then she got the eye disease, and then they ended up going to war, and then his buddy dies, and he's basically trying to do basically right by her, given that if she had gotten married to him, basically she wouldn't have had to lose a husband, basically.
Right. And I do love the additional sort of context that this gives to Sugimoto the Immortal.
Yeah.
Regardless of what time within the war this
Right.
happened, right?
Yes.
The idea that is a situation where Sugimoto would have died.
Yes.
Should have died, in fact.
Should have died. It was
And-
50-50.
Right. And so the fact that his friend saves him, it's the, okay, now I need to make good on this.
Right.
Right? You died to save me, so I'm fucking immortal now.
Yeah.
I will take care of her. I will do this, right? And so every time that he says that, it's the I am both a man who cannot die because I have to live, and also I cannot die because I already have died.
Yeah.
And I am living for another person, right?
For many other people.
For many other people. And so now who is he living for now, right?
Yeah. Now my whole life's meaning is other people.
Right.
So the idea of Sugimoto getting the gold is totally fine because he,
Yep.
in some ways, in almost a negative way, he can't really use it for himself.
No.
No.
And I like that Ashirapa's just thinking like, that isn't what I was hoping you'd say.
Yeah.
Right? The idea that, no, I want to know that you have been able to reclaim your life, to take that back.
And then also want to stay with me and, just be with me too. You know?
Sure. Well, and yet I feel like that was maybe an element of showing how a Sherpa has grown up, in that while she doesn't, like, she wants what they have to keep going on, she is also willing to sort of let it go. And so it's the, you know, no, I kind of wanted you to say that we'd part ways and it'd be fine, and I would be able to know that you're okay, not just like physically, but like emotionally and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
so this little fun kind of same thing as the Blizzard moment of making them kind of be isolated for a little bit so they can have a really good heart-to-heart conversation. Works really well here.
Yep.
It ends up giving Shiraishi a lot of good characterization as he realizes how he kind of has to deal with this new guy here, Botaro.
right, who definitely wasn't trying to, like, you know, be like, hey, you could split from them. Like, we could do our own thing. Like, are you sure you want to actually be loyal to them?
So instead, he kind of draws a connection with him of, hey, I'm also not as trusted within our little group here.
Right. So don't think that them not telling you is because, like, they're going to try and double cross you or something like that.
Yeah. No. They're good people, but also like, you know, don't try to worm your way between us here. I've had plenty of reasons as to why I could split from them.
Right. If I was going to do that,
I'm dedicated to them for like all this time.
We've been through too much.
Yeah. Shiraishi's in for the long haul. Love it. But while we also got some really good stuff with learning about Noparabo and the way in which he communicated a lot of these things to Sherpa, the actual way to solve the code was tied into the naming convention of well, basically her name and by extension his name and his wife's name. So basically their family through the animals and the stars and stuff like that. So it's a very like sweet way in which it was a very emotional, intimate thing. And yes, this guy, every time we've come back around to describing who he is, there's no way he would have killed the Ainu. The Ainu. So then who did?
Yeah, there's additional mysteries for potentially what happened. I don't think it's something where our thick boy Kiroranke, like, you know, like he did it or something, you know, like.
Well, then he would have done it, right? Like.
Well, I don't know. So there's additional mysteries that they're sort of leaving there, which I like, because a season is a long time. So like they'll have plenty of things that they can get into, and so teeing up additional mysteries for us, I think makes a lot of sense.
Well, I think they're just reminding us which things are the mysteries.
Right, exactly.
We already knew that this was a mystery, but it was a thing that we had been dancing back and forth around whether or not Noparabo actually did it, just so that the gold would stay hidden.
Right, you know, the necessary sacrifice kind of a thing or something like that. Right. And so the story kind of reminding us, like, hey, these are the ones that are especially important. I like that. And, you know, we see what you're doing with Ogata there, right? Like that was probably the most, like, kind of out of place in like what I would have expected for like a, you know, a finale right before this final
following
season.
up with Usami jerking it and giving exposition as to what he knows exactly about Ogata, but not only that, why Ogata is so dangerous to Tsurumi, which is hilarious because he's describing in a lot of the ways things that end up making you look more dangerous to Tsurumi.
Exactly. And maybe you don't realize
you were sent here specifically
where you'll be out of the way.
Or not necessarily out of the way, but you might be sacrificed for this. You might be the only one actually used as a pawn, truly. Because I think what this bit also did was characterize Tsurumi in a way that made me go, wait, have I been looking at Tsurumi too simply? The idea that this guy would manipulate all these people like pawns.
Sure.
But he doesn't necessarily view them as that.
Right. It's the...
Can he be both?
Well, and I think, so anytime you have somebody that's like a manipulator, there could be, you know, manipulation through purely like malicious or selfish intent. Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
But I think the real like dyed-in-the-wool manipulators are the people where they legitimately think that they're the best man for the job. Where it's the hey, I'm helping.
So I want to push back against all that because I think manipulators, it does not matter what they view of the situation. They're competent manipulators or they're not. Meaning that the manipulators that you actually like notice are the ones that are the bad ones.
Sure.
Like in some ways they're either going too big of scale that they end up getting noticed,
right,
which is kind of what Tsurumi is.
Yeah, how could you not notice that he's manipulating people?
Right, right. But the kind of thing that I'm talking about is that the people that he's manipulating are very similar to Tsurumi in a weird way.
Yeah, there is absolutely that element of camaraderie and kinship because they've all been through very similar things. And so whether that's just something that becomes a point of leverage for him to use them as pawns, or whether that is also something where he genuinely cares about them, or both, that is definitely what the situation is, and then it's just where's Tsurumi's internal state. And that's where, even though normally I would say by and large, it's more whether someone is a manipulator, that's the real question. They did, like, the main focus of that is not whether Tsurumi is a manipulator, because obviously he is,
obviously
right?
he is.
It's entirely focused on what's the reasoning for it. And with the way it was framed with Usami and everything, it's no, he definitely is actually telling the truth. He's still going to manipulate them and everything, right? And to an extent, I feel like I could see how he wouldn't see them as pawns, but still manipulate them, because if you're in a position of leadership, it is your job to make the decisions, which involves very kind of practical assessments of things, right? Which could go very close to seeing people as pawns, but that could more just be that's the job that you have to do, right? You have to make those calls in different times and in different ways.
Yeah.
And so alongside that, you're going to make the calls that you think are the best decisions to make, maybe for personal reasons, maybe for the good
Tactical,
of the whole or whatever.
strategic, whatever, yeah.
And to that end, you're not necessarily going to be able to save everybody, right? I could totally see it being something where Tsurumi doesn't see them as pawns, but say Usami, it's like, because you're so dead set in this specific way, I might not see you as a pawn, but I also might not, I might also know that it's kind of a doomed effort to try and help you.
Well, right, but that's why I think that Tsurumi sees these people however he sees them, but how he sees them doesn't make him any better of a manipulator, I would say.
No.
He's so terrifyingly good at manipulating that in some ways...
I don't think it makes him a better manipulator, but I think there's a very good chance that could explain why he's such a good manipulator. Like, a part of it, at least.
Isn't that the same thing?
Well, no, because the manipulation that he's already done has already happened, right? It's, if that's if it turns out that he actually does care about them, of course that's not going to make him a better manipulator, because that's always been the case. It's just us being aware of it, right?
Well, no, it would make him, I would say, well, okay, so no, the idea that his view of them doesn't change the actions that he does.
Right.
He can have a lie that's put out that I'm going to, pretend to be this person so that I can achieve the result that I want. But his true feelings could be hidden underneath all that. But that does nothing to make him a better or worse manipulator. His actions are what does that. How he views them doesn't matter.
Sure.
I feel like Usami is making the point that no, that's he's almost saying that's wise because he views you all as pawns. Like he's
and
so
he
great.
made you okay with it, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that's what we all signed up for. Sakishima knows this, and sure, yeah. I think, and maybe we're kind of getting at the same thing, just from different directions. But where I feel like the purpose of that concept to be communicated here is so that we can understand the internals of Tsurumi a bit more, because he is also one of the big mystery boxes of this show. And given that he's very much set up to be kind of like that main antagonist, for the final season.
The main antagonist.
Yeah, he 100% is. Sorry, Hichikata.
He just is the main antagonist.
Right.
Yes.
So now that we're going into this final season, having that be a question that's then posited to us, and also kind of us given the answer to the question because of how Usami is handled in
framing
the
it.
situation. Yeah.
Right.
Then
I
it's the
don't
question of-
trust his perspective on any of it. So
Right.
it makes me inherently doubt the way that he views
Exactly.
Tsurumi. Right.
And so then the question is not does that change it potentially could give insight into the way Tsurumi has acted up until now, but I think what's going to be more helpful is this is going to become relevant and cause him to do things a certain way now that we're at the curtain call,
Usami.
No, Tsurumi.
Why would that change or
Tsurumi's internal state and motivations are going to dictate how he acts?
No, but that's not changed by this. We're just seeing another perspective
totally.
on his.
But as you get closer to the curtain call, there's less need for obfuscation and things like that. That's where all the cards can be played.
No,
and
I'm with you.
The knowing of what the internals are will probably change the way that it goes at the end.
Well, yeah. But I yes, knowing the way that it goes doesn't change the way that the story goes. The story's going to go as the way it goes. I'm just saying that, I think that we're being given an alternative look to Tsurumi to make us then go, wait, why are we getting so much focus on Usami, glorifying and worshiping Tsurumi in this way, if it's not to be somewhat subverted by the nature of who Usami is?
Exactly.
And thus, it doesn't make any point as to what level of a manipulator he is. Just that there's a side of Tsurumi that is in the same level of the bones that Tsukishima saw.
Right.
There's something in there that we haven't seen yet. We have seen hints of it. It's probably explicitly something that was directly focused on by the backstory bit with his family and stuff.
Yep.
But Tsurumi said, I don't view my men as pawns. I'm thinking over and over again, what are the ways in which this is a beneficial lie to give to Usami? And in some ways, there isn't one, as far as I can see. It's just that Usami will definitively believe it a lie, no matter what he says.
Right. The only benefit I could see, and this isn't much of one, is that because Usami is so dead set on this is the way you are, that
He's agreeing with
that
him
he's kind of agreeing with him and making him be like,
pretending to lie.
yeah, that's right. You see them as comrades. We understand each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's that's too basic, and that's why I don't think that's what it's going to be. And so the show is basically prepping us for when Tsurumi surprises us. But it's it's setting it up so that way it's a surprise where we're like, oh, we didn't necessarily expect that, and yet, oh my god, that makes so much sense, and that's so fun and interesting for Tsurumi as a character, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ogata having the point very finely kind of pricked on him. The very specific, hey, he's been marked. He's got a very fine point of a mark on him, and it's this will be the entire linchpin for Tsurumi getting dismantled because Usami views it this way, and because Usami has the right sniffer for that kind of messed up little weakness, that little specific thing that is going to dismantle the whole thing. I love that he views it through Ogata, because it's Ogata is the sniper. Ogata is the one that can get into any position and kill anybody in the story.
He has the most plot power.
Other
than Tsurumi, of any single character in this show.
Yes, absolutely, or a Sherpa.
Sure.
But just the idea that it's what if that's true? Yes, you're right, Usami. But also it's that, no, in order for this to all be something where Tsurumi potentially even planned for it, maybe, he then set you up to then be the one person that would watch Ogata. The one person that Tsurumi's worried about is Ogata, and thus he needs you, his pawn, to potentially clean the slate with Ogata if Ogata ever ends up betraying him at some point in the future, and then they end up clashing, and that's just really fun.
While at the same time, Usami is the one that basically sort of ended up pushing Ogata away from Tsurumi out of his own jealousy and things like that, right?
Which I like that's the thing that I think was clearly done there, and that he gave him a little bit more the idea of things, like he was the devil on his shoulder there. But in some ways, like, Tsurumi already got what he needed out of Ogata's connection with all this stuff here.
Sure.
So in some ways, I feel like he didn't end up making him get pushed away. Ogata was used for his part. And then after that, Tsurumi doesn't need one individual like soldier.
Not necessarily, but I think Ogata is. He gives me kind of a Gollum vibe of like he's going to play a pivotal role, right? The person that seems so broken by the main themes of the story that ends up like being the most crucial. And so the fact that he isn't on Tsurumi's side, I think has a very strong possibility of being Tsurumi's downfall.
Sure.
And I think Tsurumi is the kind of person where he would not actually want he would not want to throw Ogata away because Ogata could still be useful among any other potential motivations.
To throw away anybody.
Right. But I think that's one of the reasons why when Ogata said the thing of if we are pawns, then you're the lowest of the pawns, why that pissed off Usami is because he recognizes that bit of truth in it. And I think the reason for that is because Tsurumi knows he can't really use you, right? Because
he will, but he'll use you once.
Right,
He'll
exactly.
use you once,
He has a specific way that he can use you, and that's it. You're not a multi-purpose tool, right? You're so single-minded, you're so obsessive, you're so nuts that basically, if he needs that, great, and he can send you to try and find another psycho killer, right?
Yeah.
Apart from that, you're just another dude in the 7th.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're nobody.
Right, and that's again where I come back to this whole thing that if Tsurumi is telling the truth and he doesn't see them as pawns, is it that Tsurumi collectively views the 7th and or the individuals in the 7th like him, and thus he's actually going to treat them right? But
I think he will.
Then there was the massacre, so.
Yeah.
There's this part in me that I would love to pick apart Tsurumi and actually have him definitively come in and go, yeah, this is what it was all for. I did want my island, nation basically of Hokkaido, and we'll, run things this way. That is exactly what I want. But the reasons why it's personal, the reasons why it's intimate, I need that in a final season. That's like such a big chunk of the reason why I'm so invested in this story.
Yes.
Is Tsurumi's character.
Right. The way in which the mechanics of the conflict of find gold on the surface is so disconnected from character motivations necessarily, and yet as a result of that, because it just being like the equivalent of like the a wish, right? You get at exactly what drives these people, and so now it's what happens when these wills clash, and if the intricacies of the will are at all up for debate, then that can make for some very fun reveals and conclusions and things like that. And which
is what the focus of this episode was, by finding out, hey, Sugimoto, he's solid. He hasn't changed in this search for gold.
Right. Yeah. I can't wait for that next season. That's the wait is going to kill me.
Yeah, the wait is going to kill me, but I can't do this anymore. Y'all, thank you so much for watching our Golden Kamuy reactions and discussions. I hate that we have to pass this on to another show because I want to finish this show and I want to get into the final season, but we'll have to wait until that gets announced and then we'll do that then. But y'all, thank you so much for checking out all this stuff. If you want to see the replacement show's reaction discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.